and welcome to another FAQ Monday. I'm your host, Fluff, and it's been real talk, guys. It's been sweaty up here in the old Northwest. It was like 111 2 days ago. It's too hot. It's too hot for the beard. My beard was actually like melting and like doing weird things. That's how you know it's hot. And not the good kind of hot, the bad kind of hot, like an oven. How much merit do you put into the term industry standard? Are there any industry standard equipment or practices you absolutely disagree with? That's a good question. Honestly, most of them. I mean, you know, when I think industry standard in relation to music industry or anything like that, I think of like Pro Tools. It's the standard. You gotta use Pro Tools. No, don't. Says who? Pro Tools is the industry standard. It is, because what makes it the standard is every major studio in the world uses Pro Tools, but that doesn't mean I have to use Pro Tools. Right? So, I mean, if anything, an industry standard could be used as just a starting point for any given thing. Like, what's another example? Like, the Neve console is the industry standard for recording consoles. Well, I mean, that's pretty arbitrary, and no, it's not, but you know, oh, okay, cool, I like Neve, or no, I don't like Neve, so I'm gonna go to SSL, or even something as simple as string brands. Like, nickel strings are the industry, man, who cares? I don't care. Industry standard, whatever. What's your standard? That's my question. What's my standard? Do I have standards? That's a whole nother episode. Fluff, you made a comment about Tremonti having the riffs, and I agree. Any favorites? Bailey, thank you so much for your question. This is a horrible thing to say, and I apologize to Mark and Eric and all the dudes. So the first Tremonti record came out in 2012, All I Was, and I loved it. It's just a big old bowl of riff soup. And my life got busy around 2012 with this channel and all sorts of stuff. I got busy and sidetracked, and I never listened to Tremonti's albums after that. And I'm so sad to say that. So the last couple of months, like 3-4 months, I have gone back and done a deep dive on all of Mark Tremonti's solo albums. And they're so brilliant. And they're a perfect balance between guitar bro music and stuff that's easily accessible that the non-musician can listen to. Because I think a trap that, you know, guitar bros, I like to refer to them because I'm a guitar bro. Guitar-driven music can be too guitar-y, and the song gets lost in that. That's not the case with Mark's music, which makes total sense because he was in Creed, who also had killer riffs. Don't even act like Mark didn't have riffs in Creed. He did. That being said, So You're Afraid is one of my all-time favorite riffs, the main riff to So You're Afraid. Radical Change, Dust is a brilliant song. Hang on. I have my Spotify up right here. Another Heart, Throw Them to the Lions. I mean, the list can go on and on and on. Leave It Alone, Once Dead. It just, yeah. Anything Tremonti, I approve. It just, the tone's good, the playing's good, the riffs are good. Love me some Mark Tremonti. How come I've been watching your channel for a while and never heard about your band? Instability just jumped on some playlist I was listening to, and when I searched info on the Spotify band's page, I just saw a familiar face and said, I know that guy. Real story. Carlos. Well, thank you so much for checking out my band. That happens a lot, and I'm okay with it. When we were on tour with The Used a year and a half ago, I would have fans come up to me being like, Hey, I didn't know your band. What? And that's cool, because I think the huge problem with my old band, Rest Repose, is like most of the fans knew me and Jared from YouTube and then listened to the music. And if I had to choose, I would rather my band get listeners on its own merit, and then discover that I have this other thing. I've always wanted to be the guy in the band that has the YouTube channel, not the YouTube guy that has a band, if that makes sense. So that makes me happy that you kind of organically discovered my band and then found out I was in it. That makes me very, very happy. You should also come out to a show, because Dragged Under will be on tour for most of, August and September with Beartooth and Wage War in North America. If you're in North America, I don't know where you're at. How do you go about choosing cab mics for an amp demo? That is a great question. Honestly, for me, I mean, obviously they have to sound good. I have a pretty good idea of what each individual mic will do. I love mixing mics and blending them and using one for like some top end attack, and then using the second one for some body, and then seeing how the mid-range kind of comes together with those microphones. Honestly, I just try stuff. I do, and sometimes it really works out. Other times it doesn't work out at all. So honestly, it's just trial and error. I have a pretty good core setup. You know, I'll typically use a dynamic and a condenser, although lately I've been using two dynamics. I've been using an old Beta 57 and a Sennheiser E609, for example. Sounds good. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's the one of the fun elements of me doing mic'd amp demos, or demos in general, is that challenge of, cool, I get to move around some mics. That's fun. It's time consuming, but it's a lot of fun seeing what sounds you can come up with. So yeah, I love it. What are some non-music YouTube channels that you enjoy? Oof. Non-music YouTube channels. I've been watching Corridor Digital for over a decade. Corridor Digital and their second channel, which is now almost as big as the main channel because they do VFX Artist React. I watch a ton of video editing YouTube channels. Ripple Training is great for Final Cut Pro stuff. I'm looking over at my YouTube happens to be up right now. Adam Savage's Tested is one of my favorite channels. I love woodworking stuff. I love fabrication stuff. There's a guy that I watch that rebuilds Volkswagen engines. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of guitar-y YouTube videos, honestly. I do watch a lot of repair videos though. His name escapes me, but he is an incredible repairman in Canada. I just love his videos. I've been binge watching his videos, and I've also been binge watching a very nice lady in Los Angeles who has been, you know what? I'm just gonna look this up right now because yeah, we're not cutting. We're doing this. Let's see. Phasio. Okay, so there's Phasio Electric. Love that channel. Non-music related, kind of, because it's an amp repair kind of a thing. And then let's see. What is T Woodford? T Woodford. That's the repair channel. Wonderful channel. I will link down below in the description for all these. But yeah, Phasio Electric, T Woodford, musically related, Corridor Digital, Adam Savage's Tested. Those are just, I love those channels. What are some bands you are into now that you may not have had the ear for 5 years ago? Well, going back to the Mark Tremonti thing, the Creed thing. So I recently had to do a Creed cover of Higher. I will link down below in the description if you would like to see that. I had to go back in and learn some Creed. And when Creed was out at the time in the 90s, was not into that stuff at all. Scott Stapp's voice was poison for my ears. But musically, Creed had some riffs. And so going back and listening to, some of the Creed records, I'm like, this is pretty good. This still holds up. 5 years ago, I wasn't listening to, I don't know, there's all sorts of stuff that like Katy Perry stuff, The Weeknd. I wasn't listening to the hip hop side. Drake, I wasn't listening to that stuff 5 years ago. Now it's just whatever's good is good. Rammstein, didn't have an ear for that 5 years ago. So I don't know, be open to good music. I had so many inhibitions for so long of, oh, that's terrible. Who cares? No one cares what you listen to. And if they do, then they have too much time on their hands. So yeah, good music's good music. And that does it for this episode of FAQ Monday. If you have a question, feel free to leave them on down below in the comments or go on over to my Twitter and we'll get you sorted one of these Mondays. Bluff out. If you liked the video you just watched, please consider subscribing. And if you want to further support me and what I do, consider using some of the affiliate links down below in the description of this video. Go on over to Sweetwater, buy yourself something and help me out at the same time. It's a win-win for both of us.